my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. Inside your self-righteous symphony, I would rather let this go than to bring it up again. But
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. It's another Thursday night. We're happy to have you with us. It's Burly Fishing Podcast Live. We're super pumped to be here. We got a couple of special guests, maybe just one for now, maybe just one, but we might have another special guest. So we have Matt Trotz. Hopefully Andy Cleveland will join us as well from Head2Head Fishing. So Matt, since you're the one here, Matt, how we doing, man?
I'm doing really great. Thanks so much, guys, for inviting us on tonight. Well, fighting me on for now. I don't know if Andy's still doing his hair or what, but we really appreciate it. We're excited to get the word out more about Head2Head.
Heck yeah, man. We are too. I think it's going to be a really fun show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with you guys. And as always, you guys know how the show goes. It's all for fun. We're going to have some fun. We got some fun questions loaded up for you. And hopefully we can enlighten our Burly Fishing family here on maybe some tournament stuff. Maybe some fun things with tournaments. It can be fun, maybe. I don't know. I kind of had like an impromptu, not on purpose tournament with Paul, and he absolutely just buried me in the dirt this weekend, like put me to rest. And it wasn't great. It was, yeah, RIP to me. It wasn't great. It's so funny. Like, I was just cruising, man. This beginning of this year, I was having some good gosh dang days. And like, Paul was not having good days. And then out of the woodworks he comes, and he just absolutely like did, I don't know what, 2.5 times my numbers that day, Paul. Just it was embarrassing. It was so rough. But anyway, so we're going to talk about how you guys can have fun with your friends and hopefully not destroy them or, tip their kayak over, as I was very tempted to do multiple times. But we're going to talk about lots of fun things that we can do today. All right. So before we get into it, you guys know the drill. If you like the episode, if you like the show and you want to come back, we're here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We go live right here on YouTube. So join us again, won't you? And maybe subscribe to the channel. You can smash the like on this video right here. And we encourage you, because it helps with future giveaways, you can share the link to this live right now. Have some other people join in. We are doing a live giveaway at the end of the episode because this is sponsored by our friends over at MONSTERBASS. And we're going to be giving away a $25 e-gift card to monsterbass.com where you can buy all types of merch. They got lots of apparel. They got Burly Fishing apparel there as well. And they have tons of fishing tackle. I think the last couple giveaway winners have picked up a ton of tackle. So if you want to restock, could be your opportunity. If you want a Burly Fishing hat, that's the only place that sells them, so you can check it out. Last thing, notification bell. Follow us everywhere else that you can. IG, TikTok, all the fun places. We're all over the place, people. Follow us. It's a lot of fun. Helps us grow the show. You guys are fantastic. We really appreciate you. We just had Matthew McDonald join the Burly Bunch Elite. We do have memberships here on YouTube where we offer you guys bonus incentives like badges and icons and bonus videos that other people won't see publicly, and a bonus live episode that's going to happen later this month. So welcome, Matthew McDonald. And I guess last thing, if you guys want to support the show, you can do a super chat during the episode. Throw us a super chat, donate any amount that you want. We appreciate it very much. And you can attach a question to that. Please. It helps us out a lot. All right, Paul, did I miss anything?
Yeah, I think you missed everything. So no, you're good, man.
I said none of the things.
No, I know I said it before. We need to find a way, and by need to find a way is I need to do a better job of promoting the B-roll, because I just rolled.
Oh yeah.
I just rolled some B-roll footage from our last trip, and it's solid gold, man. Like I have a problem not laughing at it, which is, you laugh at your own jokes, but I think it's like legitimately hilarious.
I mean, we think that we are hilarious, right?
Bingo.
I mean, Matt gets it. Matt, when you go like fishing or hunting with your buddies, those like times where you have these inside jokes and you're like, this will never see the light of day. Well, we put that on B-roll and we give it to our members.
Nice. That's a great idea. Sometimes I'm my own biggest fan. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And like nobody gets you but you, and also you're awesome fans. So our fantastic viewers, hopefully you guys like it. I don't know. Let us know if our B-roll sucks. I haven't seen any dislikes on a B-roll yet. So I mean, I'm
really?
taking that as unanimous. Well, there was the one time that I released the B-roll publicly on accident, and some guy said that we were all drugged up or something. He was like, this is the worst video I've ever seen on YouTube. And I was like, oh, it wasn't supposed to be a video for you, bro. Like, he was on the outside. It was for our people on the inside. Anyways, let's roll this question of the day, Paul. What do you say?
Well, I'm texting Andy the link right now.
All right, cool.
See if he's able to get in. But Q of the D. So the Q of the D it's basically just like a fun question, right? Little icebreaker. And it's usually we like to relate it to our guests as much as possible. So this is the easiest one I can think of, but I do think it's kind of controversial. Everyone gets to answer, what is your favorite way to eat walleye? It's related to what we're trying to do here. I know in the tournament, we're throwing them all back. I don't throw them. I throw actually very few of mine back, I'll be honest. Most of mine stay with me. So Matt, do you want to go first?
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm gonna go deep fried, breaded, beer battered, something like that. That's the way I like my walleyes. With an old fashioned especially.
Oh, see, that goes
Ooh.
up. That just went up 10
Yeah.
levels.
Adding the drink to the side.
Yeah, but
Fantastic.
actually, old fashioned and fried food though is like a shockingly good combination. Like I know everyone goes for the beer,
Mhm.
but old fashioned as far as like bourbon beverages go, that actually that something just clicked. I never realized that how much better that actually goes.
Oh,
It's
it's
ultra
it's
classic.
hands down. I mean, that's what we do here in Wisconsin. I mean, that's a Friday night fish fries, baby. You got to go out and get some perch or some walleye.
Yeah.
If you want something a little different, have some whitefish or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, you go because once you start adding too much beer to that, it's too much carbs. You know, you get weighed
Yeah.
down. Then the next thing you know, you got to have something a little light at times. And I agree, man. I'm a sour guy. I like my old fashioned sour. Give me some garnishes in there, and that's a Friday night here in Wisconsin for sure.
Wow. I like that, just upped the ante a lot. I like
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna have to change my answer to exactly what you just said, Matt. No. So you guys want to know my answer? Ready? Ready? It's when I'm camping and Paul makes it and I just eat it. That's like my actual answer, because my wife does not like to eat fish. No one in my family cares about eating fish except for me. So when Paul says like I keep them all the time, like Paul would keep them all the time. In fact, I snagged a cat this weekend, and as I was going to release it, I go like, Paul, it's in the video for tomorrow, by the way. I was like, Paul, do you want to eat this? And he said no. And I was like, Paul, are you okay? Like,
It's only because I actually didn't have a cooler big enough to keep that without filleting it.
True.
But it's legit that and I like those cats. It was a perfect cat, 16, 18 inches, like premium for a keep.
I would have eaten it if you made it for me.
So my answer, I saw a lot of people going slap yo mama as the seasoning mix to go on their walleye.
Yep.
Good call. I'm a
Yeah.
big slap your mama fan. That sounds terrible to say on the air, so everyone knows. Just to
Whoa.
be very clear, we're
Can
talking
anybody-
about a spice mix.
Can someone clip that? Can
Yeah.
chat? Can you guys clip that, please? Thank you.
Never again.
I would like a meme. Promptly, Chaz, can we have a meme? Thank you.
I'm
I'm a
more
big fan of Slap Your Mama.
I'm a big fan of slapping your mama, but I'm more a fan, to be honest, of the Tony Sacheries. Tony Sacheries,
Oh.
the triple spice. That's the
You're
one that
addicted.
that's where I live.
Yeah.
But
So the question is when you're eating that slap your mama breading or whatever, do you have to have a wife beater on? Is that how that works?
well,
The
it's got to be
white
stained,
tea?
but yes.
Yeah.
It has to be stained
Can't
with
be
the
there.
oil
Yeah,
that you're
dude.
cooking with.
That's
Ideally.
that's just wrong that I even called it that. I apologize. Can we rewind that? Take that back.
Nope. We just got a bunch of clips from this, man.
Yeah.
We are off air immediately.
Yeah, where's Andy at? Remember, I think this guy Andy was gonna join us at some point. Man, I
You
just threw
mean
myself under the
Andy?
bus.
Andy, head of PR for Head to Head. He
He
didn't
is the
make it.
tournament director. Yeah, I
Oh,
might
shoot.
Yeah, he is the So
I'm out of timeout.
my actual answer is actually it is fried, but I like mine in tacos. I think walleye make hands down the best fish taco. Pike up there. But walleye tacos, man. A little bit of mango salsa, spicy seasoning, and then like the crunchy breading with ice cold Coke out of a glass.
An ice cold.
That's a great call right there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know what it is about
If
Coca-Cola
it's a
Classic and tacos, man. But
if
that's
it's a fish taco, I would say a rum and Coke. A rum and Coke would be delicious with that.
Wouldn't argue.
Specifically Sailor Jerry's, and then I'll go take a nap right after that.
Mandatory nap. It's not like
Mandatory.
you actually have a choice.
It's a Jerry nap. It's a Jerry night.
So I want to get into the show meet. So Matt, first of all, where are you from? Where do you fish out of?
So Head to Head is out of Wisconsin, right? We started it back in 2019. The owner, Brian Keller, had this idea for 10 years plus, right? And a number of things had to happen. It needed to be the technology needed to catch up and everything like that with the live streaming. So we started in 2019 with 2 bass events over 2 different weekends, and it was in fall of all things, like in Wisconsin, like end of September, first part of October. And so it was a grind. We ran, it was, did as many lakes as we could live stream on. And then we ran 2 shows back to back. So we did their 5-hour event. So we did a grind in the morning from 7 to noon, took an hour break, and then ground again from 1 to 6. We were cutting it short on daylight, everything like that. It was so, it was insane because like Brian actually brought his mobile trailer, parked it at the store so we could sleep in there because we both live 45 to an hour from Appleton. So it was 48 hours of just nonstop grinding, but after those 2 bass events, and the fishing was terrible. I mean, it was rainy, it was windy, it was cold. You couldn't ask for worse conditions to live stream 2 bass events, but it was what the people wanted. And after that, we did it. We brought it back again in 2020. We ran 13 different events last year in 2020 between bass and walleye in the state of Wisconsin because a little thing called COVID hit, right? And it locked us down. We couldn't travel out of state. But, if we're going to talk about something that came positive out of it, it brought us some amazing fans like you guys have. And the viewership numbers were unbelievable. I mean, so many messages, and just like you guys do, we want a live chat as well. So like so many messages during the live streams of, hey guys, you're helping me get through pandemic, you're helping me get through work. I mean, there's nothing else on. So I mean, for us, 2020 being a bummer for a lot of people was it was definitely a bottle rocket that sent H2H, into the 2021 season.
Dude, I love it. And that's such a good perspective on it too. I mean, the crazy thing is like you're not alone in that at all. I mean, this little app called TikTok kind of exploded a lot of people. All of a sudden they were like normal person famous. It was insane. And like for us, like 2020 was a really big year. Like we grew a ton that year. That was like the year we decided like, oh, podcast was formed. And we started like doing the lives that year and like all sorts of stuff started going down. I mean, it's that's crazy, man. Good for you guys. That is crazy good dedication. I would say like we do those hours when we go on trips, but not in October. Like not in the Midwest in October. Those are the days when we're like, hey, do you want to do like 4 or 5 hours and then like call it? That'd be good.
Yep.
Like an all
day. It was unbelievable. Like the overall, response to it was people were like, and let's not sugarcoat it, right? On the bass side of the live streaming type stuff, there's a lot of competition. I mean, there's no secrets to that, but what was really cool for a lot of people is it was familiar faces. It was people that they know locally. We made some, good anglers famous kind of in our sense. And then 2020 did the same thing, with the walleye side. That's where we knew that industry needed some help, right? I mean, it's been the Big 5 weigh-ins and walleyes it was stagnant. Let's not sugarcoat it, guys. It was kind of a stagnant industry, and some of those tournaments were feeling those effects, and then when we brought walleye fishing to Head to Head into the public, they jumped on. Viewership numbers on the walleye side trumped over the bass side. It was, wow. You would think it would be the opposites.
Yeah.
But there was nothing out there like it. And, they were so responsive, so supportive. And, it was awesome. So then, and I can stop at any time. I'm just going to keep rattling, boys. I talk for a living. So, in 2020, as we got towards the end of the season, like we knew that we needed something a little more on the professional side. Not to say that our anglers weren't great. We love every single one that we have, and we had 16. So we ran it as well, let me break down Head to Head for you. Let me first and foremost. I'll slow down.
That's what I was gonna say. So give us the sort of what's the rule? Why is it called Head to Head?
Okay, so
real quick,
Yep.
before you do that, because I want to give you a full breath of air here.
Yep.
Chris Shu, thank you for the super chat, my dude. $2 from Chris Shu. Also, welcome to the chat, Autism Anglers. These guys are fantastic. They were on a podcast with us recently. It's the end of Autism Awareness Month, so thank you guys so much for there, and thank you to our chat, our team, our crew, our fam for helping us donate $300 to Autism Anglers. You guys are fantastic. All right, let's get after it, Matt. All you.
All right. Well, I cheers you, but I'm trying to hold my computer so it doesn't close again on me as
Cheers
it
the
sits on the
computer.
dash of my Subaru. But
Yeah. All
so
good.
yeah, head to head, the idea is it's 1v1 basically. We talked about this before we went live, like wrestling and all that kind of stuff, where we take one angler and they're gonna get paired up against another angler in a bracketed format, and it's you win and you move on, you lose, you go home. And it really puts the pressure on. So a head-to-head event works like this. It's 5 hours long. So that's the other thing that our anglers appreciated is not an 8-hour grind like some other events.
Yeah.
We catch as many 2-pound fish. Now I'm going to say we did that first. There's other events that are 2 pounds now, but we did it first, right? As many 2-pound walleyes in this case, because that's what we're talking about on the PWS, as you can in that 5 hours. So we're all catch and release, artificials only. That's another big thing that, you can catch a lot of fish on night crawlers and minnows and leeches, right?
Yep.
But in an industry like we're all loving, you can't sell, you got to sell a ton of live bait in order to make your thing float. And plus, if you want companies sponsors, you got to push their products, guys. You know how that goes as well.
Well, I think the other thing too is that we've all anybody who's used live bait and artificial knows that there's a completely different element to doing both. Live bait is about if I'm remotely in the right spot, I'm probably going to get on a fish.
Yep.
Artificial is I have to select the right bait. I might be in the right spot. I might not get anything. So it's right bait, right time, right action, right rig, especially with walleye, right color. I mean, at least that's from my experience in walleye fishing.
Yep.
Especially in a place like the Detroit River, which is, I know you guys just had an event there. It's so much about, there's like 5 things that you have to be like dead on, especially be better than all the other guys who are out there and gals.
Yep. Well, in by doing this on the walleye side, we're creating innovation as well. I mean, there's a lot of bass style fishing that also works for walleyes that people weren't aware of. And you brought it up, Paul, about the Detroit River. I mean, after we left Detroit, our 32 anglers fishing on the Detroit River will never be the same. We've heard about it since that event ended. Is you go there and everybody wants to vertical jig, and they want to, that's the style. Well, Nick Schertz, our first PWS champion, showed them that you could throw plastics all day long in shallow waters, and those females, those big fish, they want to chomp. And so, I mean, we know that that's what it takes. So, yeah, and the other cool thing is that we're catch and release. So, when 2020, when a lot of tournaments weren't happening because of, social distancing and all that other stuff, when in 2020 we had 16 anglers going head to head, again, we qualified because we were a small gathering at that time. And even in a boat where we had a cameraman who also doubled as the official at that time, you get a 20-foot boat, that's definitely beyond that 6-foot marker that you needed. So it was cool back in 2020. Then that allowed us to jump into 2021 with the PWS. But, we have some penalties that are really cool. We have the Waylive app that the anglers can pay attention to. And during that 5-hour grind, some of our experienced anglers, whether the pro side or the amateur side, that said that it's mentally exhausting to constantly hear, if you elect to, what your competitor has.
It's like that live scoreboard where they're, there's a really good example here. Like when Jeff and I were fishing a lot, especially when we're on the river, that's probably the one time we're typically fishing close to each other. And when you're having a rough time and you're trying to get dialed, like if you're on a school of fish, if you're walleye fishing, you're on a pod and you can't buy one. And then all of a sudden you hear, woo, got another one, got him. and you
I've
just hear
got
that thing going off.
PTSD going on right now.
That's what
You're
I'm
gonna say
saying.
that. Gosh dang it. But yeah, like I feel like that just gets in your head, right? It got in my head this weekend. So Paul would be like, "Yeah, I'm throwing this thing, I'm throwing that thing." You had you hit a bunch on the jackal yammy fish and that tube, and I didn't have those. I didn't have anything like them. So I was like, "Yeek, I don't have those things." So in my head, I'm like, I don't have the right bait. You know, it's only those bait that's going. I'm like, "No, that's not true." And then I'm like, back and forth in my head. I'm like, "No, no." And I end up with just like my comfort bait, and I threw that out there. It ended up producing for me at the end of the day, but it took way longer because I was just trying too hard on like the wrong things for me at that time, and it was getting into my head what he was throwing. And also, he couldn't unbuy a bite. You couldn't not buy a bite. What did I say to you? I said
couldn't return a bite.
you could not return. You had the receipts, non-returnable bites. Like
Yep.
at one point I was like, dude, this kid could throw a lure in a trash can and catch a fish. Like it was such a freaking joke. I would give him everything. I gave him a double-bladed chatterbait. I gave him a 17-foot diving crankbait in 4 feet of water, and like he just would go, nah, fish. And I was
Yep.
just like, freaking hate you. So
Yeah.
I would be one, I think, to not elect to listen to that, because it would destroy me. I'd be like, whatever happens to them happens to them. I just want to be here, just in here, and just do my thing. And like I feel so much better doing that. I usually leave Paul at the boat ramp. I'm like, later, nerd, I'll see you at snack time.
I got a question about, you mentioned something that I wanted to ask you about. You mentioned it's like the number of 2-pound fish.
Yep.
Right. So hold on, Army. We talk about this a lot, right? Because being in Michigan, I'm sure being in Wisconsin, you hear the guys from Florida and Texas, and like, I caught myself a 17-pound bass. You're like, cool, bro. That's called a shark here. We don't do that.
Yep.
You catch 3-pound, you're like, hey, I'm having a great day. This is a nice fish. So, how did that how did you guys get to the point where you're like, you know what, we're not going length, right? We're not doing length. We're doing number of 2-pounders.
Yep.
And before you answer, because I don't want to forget about him,
Oh.
Army Outdoors 88N, thank you so much for your service, and also welcome back. So he says, "What's up, guys? Finally back in America after my 32-day Army trip overseas. You'll be excited for these 17-year brood X cicadas to emerge. Topwater, yes, I'm ready. I have a lure for it, but I appreciate the super chat for $5, man. You are fantastic. Again, thank you for service, and thank you for coming back. Sorry, Matt, continue. We're just trying to let you go on a full train of thought."
No, man, that's the perfect time to get a great compliment, great question like that guy. I mean, thank you so much to him for doing what he's doing. First and foremost, that's phenomenal. Raise another one to that guy for sure. There it is. Cheers it up. So yeah, to answer your question, Paul, when Brian brought this up, about doing head to head, he's like, everybody is so trained about the big 5, right? Or the big 3, that it's like, that's what tournament formats are. Well, then the bass circuit came along, where it was as many 1-pounders as you can definitely catch. And that was cool, right? But it kind of, if you remember, like, it kind of got bashed a little bit because people are like, well, they're just catching dinks. That's the target of it. When you needed some fish, you can throw a Cinco or whatever and catch some dinks, right?
Throw that wacky rig and you're in business.
Yeah. And so, when Brian discussed it, he's like, how can I blend both worlds and make everybody happy? Well, and that's where it is, because, when you catch as many 2-pound fish as you possibly can, you still are targeting quality fish, and I love your talk when you're talking about it, because was that fish really 3 pounds? You don't know that until you put a scale to it. And you're surprised, just like, unfortunately, guys, we get surprised a lot when all of a sudden we think it's bigger than what it really is. And it was, you try it on your own. Take a scale out and look at a bass and be like, that fish is 2 pounds all day, or that walleye is 2 pounds all day. And I mean, it's 2 separate worlds. And then you put the scale to it and it's 1.6, 1.14. It's right there. It ain't 2 pounds. And so, that's the merger between, the big 5 format and as many fish as you can catch 2 pounds, because it still makes you target big fish at times. But the cool thing for us is because some lakes were grinding, all those fans that watched Head2Head last year, like La Crosse and Winnebago, were just absolutely a grind, right? Like there was days where, well, we had one event win by ounces. And because of that, like, Brian is a that guy looks into the future, but he realized that we got to have a tiebreaker for these events that go into this. So we created Dink Fest. And it started in 2020 on the Fox River in De Pere, Wisconsin, where we had a matchup that was getting close. And at the 2-hour mark, all weights go off. So that means it's as many fish as you can catch, doesn't matter what they weigh. So, one of the guys, we call him the Godfather of Dink Fest, just put on a clinic, right? He started catching as many 1-pound walleyes, so on and so forth as he could. And so that's Dink Fest really got, solidified in everybody's mind because it was a thing, right? Like you didn't have to do it until you were tied up. And at 2-hour mark, all weights go off. And now you just go fun fishing. You catch as many scoreable fish, meaning that species of fish that we're targeting, as you can. And now, I mean, we have hashtag, H2H Dink Fest, going dinking. I mean, it's Dink Fest is a thing, guys. It is awesome.
Can I add dinking around?
Dinking around, yep.
I like it.
Dinking around.
Can I add lifting for dinks and barbells, barbells and dinks? Because I started doing posting some of like my workout stuff on my Instagram, and those are our hashtags. So if you guys ever want to post your workout stuff, make sure you hashtag those: lifting for dinks, barbells, and dinks. And we got our buddy Debo's Fishing always posts his hashtag Debo Dink. So dude, we live in Dinkland, my friend. Yep. Thank you for speaking our language. We do appreciate that. Also, Chris Shue has something to say with his super chat of $5. Thank you so much, my friend. As rabid baits users, what is your favorite rabid bait? The craw, the worm, the Ned, and which color? You guys are the best. Thank you, Chris Shue. You're the best. I think Bob actually from Rabid Baits emailed me before we were going on this live and said that the Rabid Baits made a showing on the Detroit River. Did that happen? Yep. Is that a thing?
That is 100% a thing. One of our anglers, Justin Schneider, is working with them this year, and again, it's just showing you that crossover world that is definitely a thing, right? Mostly known on the bass side, and Justin saw him, reached out, talked to those guys, and they have some things in the works. I'm not trying to release any like tidbit of awesome information, but I know Justin working with those guys. They're working on some walleye stuff too. I mean, those baits look phenomenal. Just a combination of plastic and hair. That's a great idea.
Those boys out. They do a lot of St. Clair area fishing, Erie, that whole stretch, right? And so the Darter, the Goby, they got the St. Lawrence. Like that's definitely a lockdown area for them. That Erie color. So I'm gonna answer your question, Chris. I love their Ned because it applies to a lot of the fishing that Jeff and I end up doing.
The foxtail.
Dude, it's so nice. And that fuchsia, man, that purple.
Thank you.
It's so
same.
It's that's mine. But I will say for most people, the shaker worm in that in that Erie color is that's probably your most versatile, probably the one that's going to last you the longest. So if you're going to buy one pack, that's what I'd get. If you're getting a bunch of packs, get the Darter and Ghost, that white.
That was my second one, man. All right, why don't you just answer? I'll just be over here. But I would also say I think it's Midnight or Twilight Magic. Yes. Andy's in chat. Look at him. Hey. Yo, your tournament guy is in chat there, Matt. Andy, wrong chat. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man, join us in Skype land, dude.
Oh well, thank you for being in chat, man. You can answer chat if you want to. We appreciate you being there. That's fantastic.
Tell him to donate while he's there, right?
Yeah, we accept super chats in the form of $100 only at a time. Oh man, he's like, help! I'm call Chaz. Chaz, give him your number.
Yeah, right over the live stream. Please do it.
Producer Chaz, get him on the phone. Sorry, man. But thanks for being in chat. I mean, We're happy to have you. We still have your awesome representative here, Matt. So let's keep hammering with questions. Thanks for the Rabid Baits question, Chris Hugh. That's awesome.
So that's funny. When do you how do you get to a point where you're how do you get involved with somebody who it decides that they're gonna create a tournament, right? How do you get involved with is it just by chance? How does that happen? Because I'll be honest, if someone was in this area was you know what I'm gonna do, I got enough funding and gumption that this is what I'm gonna do this year. I'm gonna start a bass fishing tournament. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna reach out to my buddy Paul Glass for absolutely no reason whatsoever. What?
So if we're going way back, we're going way back. So Brian was a professional walleye angler at times, right? And he fished all those circuits. And so, he did well on some, and just like any angler, like some he didn't do well on. But because he was, I believe his former job before he started working at the Real Shot, which is the store he owns, as well as the Head2Head, is he was like an IT guy, so he's really into technology, understands it, gets it, and I always say it, and I'll say it to his face, he's light years beyond where we're at even right now. Head2Head is phenomenal right now, but he's already kind of bored with it, and he's got new stuff spinning up every day. You know what and I'm not trying to say that's a negative thing. He's just such a forward thinker. But anyways, so he, with his past being in walleye fishing and tournament fishing, realized again, like we talked about, that there needed to be some strong changes, especially on that side of the industry. So, he opened up the store called The Real Shot in 2010. And so I started working there in 2013, just on the retail side of it. And it's actually a funny story how I got to meet Brian. I was working at a trade show, and I was a representative for a hunting company, and I was talking to some girls. And Brian's like, "You're a pretty good talker. You want to come work for me as a salesman?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually, that's my goal, my dream job, right? Selling hunting and fishing stuff for a living."
Yeah.
So I worked as the assistant manager for a while, worked my way up to manager, and then I moved into social media and marketing. But, I got my break is because he's like, "Hey man, we need somebody to commentate these fishing events." And I'm like, I fish, but I don't know the strategy side of things at times. I'm just going to be shooting, just throwing up guesses. And so we actually had another employee sit in with us. Plus Brian was running the live stream and also commentating at the same time. So, so the thing that my main job is with Head2Head is my knowledge is growing. I've learned a lot, just like our viewers have, from the anglers that we are so fortunate to get. But I'm the flow guy, right? I help the show move forward, get us into commercial breaks, kind of answer questions, and everything like that. So just my ability to talk at times is what led me to being a Head2Head commentator. And I love it. I love my job every single day. I also host a online live streaming show, because we do all the live streaming, called The Guided Life, where I go out and I live stream fishing events and hunting events. I've been going out turkey hunting, like we were talking about, getting a producer up at 4:30 in the morning just so I can run live streams at 5:30. We haven't shot anything on camera yet, but I mean, hopefully one of these days I won't miss. Anyways, so
You mean the bird won't jump your shot?
yes, great point. That's how I'm gonna use that one. You mind if I steal that one?
That's
yeah.
all you
So
get. Right. So
I've been with The Real Shot since 2013, and and that just merged into the Head2Head side of it as well.
Totally makes sense. So would you fancy yourself like a Joe Buck or like a Troy Aikman, right?
Whichever one doesn't get bashed as hard on the internet. That's the one.
Troy Aikman, dude. I mean, other than the slight home, I deleted sports from my life this year, but he does a really nice job, because he's way more than just color, but he doesn't have to manage like all the stuff. So he just gets like free reign. And then I always find like if Joe Buck like tries to say something, he's like, yeah, well, I don't really think that's right. And then just like, but you're like, okay, bro, okay.
So I would be probably both of those guys, right? Like Joe Buck is your guy that directs the show and kind of runs the flow, and then Troy is your blue or your commentator that adds the analyst side of it all. I would say if I want to be anybody as a commentator, I want to be Tony Romo, man. I mean, everybody loves Tony Romo. He's a great commentator.
He is phenomenal.
Yes.
He's like phenomenal. He's like the exact balance of what you want to see. That's my favorite part. It really is. It really is.
Well, and you do have to understand, I mean, the fishing side of it. You got to understand why they're throwing the baits they're throwing, why they're fishing the water. You know, like Nick Schertz again was fishing a seam on the Detroit River and fished it for 5 days straight and just broke records every single day he fished it.
Nice.
75 pounds worth of walleyes in 5 hours, guys. Can you imagine that?
No, I literally can't.
Nope.
It's not,
nope, can't do that.
I'm not capable.
I would love to imagine that. Not even catch that. I'd love to imagine that.
You talked a little bit about tackle on the and some of the restrictions. I kind of want to get into that because I think bass guys are like relatively familiar with like what a bass tournament, kind of what the regulations are. But like walleye guys, especially as you get out past like on big lakes like Winnebago, like Bago is like, I mean, that's trolling territory, right?
Yep.
More than Detroit River is. And so like what's like can you troll? Like what's the deal? Like is trolling allowable on in the circuit?
Yep, 100%. So we allow 2 rods or 2 presentations. So if you if you're trolling, you can only have 2 rods out. And so again, the reason that rule is in place is because the guys that are casting, they're at the disadvantage then, right? Only fishing 1 rod while another guy's trolling, bringing
2 baits.
Bringing 2 baits across. So it's 2 rods or 2 presentations is the head-to-head rule. And so like it's going to be interesting when we go to Mille Lacs in Minnesota because they're only 1 line. So on that one, again, I wholeheartedly believe most of the head-to-head events are going to be a casting bite. At least they're going to attempt it, right? There's going to be times where we saw some long lining, we saw some trolling onto Detroit. But I think with the advancements in technology of electronics,
that's about
more walleye anglers are casting 2 fish. Yeah. And, like Isaac Lackish and Max Wilson, I mean, those guys have made a lot of money with that Panoptics in the front of their boat, and that's strictly how they do it from here on out.
I legitimately really struggle with Panoptics. Like I don't want to say they're too good. Like I fully understand, especially if you're an angler.
You do want to say they're too good.
No. Like part of me wants to say it, but part of me really doesn't because like let me back up. You've been sitting in the woods, right? Woods you scouted, woods you think you know. You think you know. And you're sitting there and you're hearing deer. And they're out there, but they're not where you expect them to be. And they haven't been there for 2 weeks and you got like 4 days left, right? How cool would it be if every deer was glowing red?
Just see, but you should preface this to Matt to let Matt know that you are actually 82 years old and that you, if you had the choice, would have no sonar. And in fact, you guys, Paul hasn't been fishing with a sonar for like the past 4 months because his sonar doesn't work. He got a brand new sonar at the end of last year in the fall, and it has never worked. He just got it fixed, and he was perfectly content. Perfectly content. Yeah, I would have lit everything on fire. I would have been very upset. And
I get, but
like I really want to say you don't want Panoptics.
No, and
it defies the logic.
I think it's amazing. I think it's an unbelievable tool. I mean, it's just like an advancement that I think people always think it's going to be like I think people always thought like the lures were going to get so much better. It's not what was going to happen. It was going to be finding the fish. I think it was pretty obvious once down imaging and chirp came along. Like I think we pretty much knew like eventually you're just going to be able to see exactly what it is and where they are. And the water is no longer a mystery. And that's the thing that kind of kills me. It's like you look at KVD, right? Dude's been messing with this stuff for a long time. And the dude will literally roll up onto a piling at a dock or at a bridge and just be like, not that one, but yeah, that one over there.
Yep.
You'll see 6 bass, cast at it 4 times, not catch it, go upstream, come back down, and then nail it on the next one. And I mean, you're casting within like, it's not like they're in front of me. You're talking like you get to get them dialed. These dudes are getting them dialed to where like that one is 25 feet over there, and I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna plink it. I'm literally just gonna pitch right into it. And I'll be honest, like to me that takes a lot of like when I'm watching that, I'm like, cool, I guess. Like that'd be. I mean, that's like I'm gonna high wire hunt, and all the deer have flashlights on their back. Like, okay, good luck not shooting one. I'm just saying.
Right.
But I don't know, man.
Paul likes a challenge, and he hates winning easily.
I do.
I'll give you.
That's why the
I'll
most
give you proof.
accurate
I'll
thing
give you
I've ever
proof.
heard in my life.
The dumbest lure we ever discovered in the universe is called the Shark Deuce. It is also the name of one of our YouTube memberships. If you guys want to like and join, you can do that. I think it's $5.99 a month. But the Shark Deucers are fantastic people, by the way, also. But it's a Ned rig. It's the Z-Man copper truce color. And around here in like our slightly stained waters, it just seems to work amazing. And in our rivers, it works amazing. So the first couple times I was hammering on it, I was putting like 20 fish in the boat, Dinkfest. And freaking Paul was like, I'm never throwing that. I won't do it. And I'll make my own. And he would make one out of a Cinco. And like the first day we discovered it, it worked for him. And after that, it didn't. And then eventually he was like, okay, fine, Chartreuse. So he starts throwing the Chartreuse. But there's like a day we were on an ultra clear lake, and I was just putting them in the boat. And Paul couldn't buy a bite. And he was like, fine, I'll fish for bluegill. He gets this little 3-weight fly rod out that he always keeps in his boat. He's like popping for bluegill. They wouldn't bite. And he's like, you know what? Let's go home. It's just like, I'm done. It's fine. He wouldn't put it on. And that is a testament to also why he hates Panoptics. Like
it's just I guess I'm not necessarily there just to catch fish. If I was there just to catch fish, I'd go to a stock pond. Like, and I won't.
That's true. We don't do that.
But I mean, tournaments are different, and the technology's there, and it's amazing. It really is unbelievable. I'm not saying I wouldn't have it on my boat, but I do, and I'm not here to like die on this hill or anything like that. I've never had it. I've never used it. It'll be probably a decade before I get a hold of it. I didn't get a cell phone until with
yesterday,
with the internet for like years.
Yesterday.
So I just
a Nokia. You guys heard of those?
Brand new. You guys seen this? You can Google on your phone. No,
you could throw it through a wall. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I just I think it's the other thing that I had watched, because I went back and watched some of your guys' shows. One thing I thought was interesting was your start time. Your start time was it 8?
8.
Dude, that's tough, because I feel like guys were on fish and watching pods slink by like 7:30.
Yeah.
Yep. It was 8 on the eastern side, and I mean, again, it just adds another element to head-to-head, right? And we hear about it at times. A lot of our anglers. Well, see, and the thing that made it tough on Detroit is we allow them to get to their spot as soon as they want to, right? If they like, again, I don't want to continue to talk about Nick Schertz, but he is the first champion of PWS, and I mean, the guy was just putting on a clinic, but he would get to a spot at 7:00 in the morning to kind of protect that spot. And, the whole time he's sitting there, he's watching fish after fish after fish, saying that if I could start fishing now, man, it'd be crazy. But with the lines in at the 8:00 start time, and that might vary with some events depending on location and stuff like that. But, it makes you figure the fish out. It's one thing, Paul, to see that fish there, but you got to trick that fish into biting, man. And
walleye's different, and walleye in the spring is very different than bass in the spring. I mean, if you think bass pre-spawn are tough, walleye, as water's starting to warm up, it's a totally different game. It's a great point though. Walleye is different. I mean, walleye is more akin to like ice fishing for gills, where you're just like, bro, it's in your face. Like, would you please, God?
I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it.
And so it's cool because so like 2021 we have the PWS, that's our professional side, and the way that's working is it's 32 anglers, and I'm trying to get to a story here, but it's 32 anglers, professional anglers, that are fishing 5 events plus the championship, right? So these 32 are built up in our opinion of the best walleye anglers in the nation. And so Mike Goffron is a legendary walleye angler. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, it's how many? It's like having Brett Favre on your team. So he actually built a tank in his basement, and you can go back and watch Mike Goffron's Meet the Angler podcast we did with him. He has a, what is it, like a 800-gallon tank in his basement where he would put walleyes in it, and he would call home during a tournament and ask his wife, he goes, "Where are my walleyes?" And she'd say, "Okay, they're up off the bottom, they're suspended, or they're on the bottom." And he would use that knowledge in his fishing events. And I mean, and we talk about it. And the other thing he talked about in his podcast was walleyes are some of the most aggressive fish out there. I mean, they're pack hunters, right? They have giant teeth, and they're it's no different, right? You just got to trick them into biting. But man, when they're firing like crazy. Oh, look at this!
Whoa,
guy.
do we have Andy now? It's a party episode.
Well, you join us with like 20 minutes left, Andy.
Hey, easy now. Easy now.
Holy
Right.
Man.
smokes.
This has been the greatest challenge of my life. And you guys obviously see I did not get hired to head because of my technical abilities. Oh my God.
gosh.
I was dying over here I'm watching and I cannot type, these fingers do not type all that fast. And I'm just trying to get in there and jump in and help out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just dying to get on. I can't, I'm here. I'm here, guys.
Hey man, we really appreciate you hustling to make it happen. Chaz is gonna work behind the scenes to get you up on screen. So if you guys can't see Andy right now, he will be up on the live here very soon. We have to do behind the scenes magic. That's why we have the Wizard of Chaz to help us out. I do want to say real quick before we keep rolling, we got Bruce Wild with a super chat. Says, "Sorry I'm late, just got home from work." Hey man, nice to have you. Thanks for being here. We appreciate
Welcome,
you.
Bruce.
Thanks for the super chat, man. Okay, so Andy, you're here. Hello. Introduce yourself. They can hear you. So tell us about yourself. How you been?
I've been good. I've been good. Matt's covered so much awesome stuff, and I love where you guys were talking about, the anglers and the different start times. And, one of the cool things about the format is the anglers are able to trailer anywhere that they want. And so in the traditional tournament, you got a bunch of boats floating around the start spot. You have takeoff numbers, and then you go single file. And a lot of these guys, man, they are blowing a lot of gas out the back of their boat, right? And they're also beating up their body, beating up their equipment. And that's a large part of the day. In the traditional 8-hour format, you could spend 3 hours real easy driving to try and get somewhere. And then also on the way back, not only beating yourself up, but now beating up the fish on the way back, where our format, it allows these anglers to launch anywhere they want. We have a central meeting location in the morning. We get together, we have our meetings, they get their camera guys, they get their marshals, and then they jump in their trucks, and then they take off. The Detroit River, what was cool about that is probably half of the field rented slips for the entire week. So they left their boats in the water the whole time. So they were just able to go with their truck, pre-tournament meeting, go back, jump in the boat, take off, and they don't have to race. They don't have to try and pound and beat themselves up.
Yeah.
So a lot of the anglers love that ability, and it helps save on a lot of gas blowing out the boat, but it also saves on the wear and tear. So yeah, it's a cool format. Detroit River, you think about it, 28 miles worth of water they can fish.
Yeah.
So to be able to trailer where you want to go, that is pretty cool.
That's so much more like a
That's
kayak tournament,
Yeah.
where you'll have dudes be like, "Oh, main launch? later nerds, like, and they're nowhere near
although
the main launch.
I do want to see a kayak tourney where you have everyone at the same launch, and then you go single file, and you have start numbers, and they all have to like take off as fast as they can to their spot. Because I think you guys remember the Mr. Bass episode. So he's our freaking pedals on our Hobie Pro anglers. They get all creaky. Well. Whatever,
Ours?
Paul. You haven't fixed mine yet. So, all right. At any rate, yeah, they get all creaky. But even if you're paddling, man, it's just like put the hustle on. That would be hilarious. Or if they have like those Bixby or Torpedo motors and they're trying to take off, they're going at like 3.5 miles an hour. Like, we're going to get there. We're going to get there soon.
There's like barely awake.
And it's got a 5-hour battery life. So it's just like, oh, it died. Oh, no. We're trapped. We can't get back.
But just think about the innovation that would come out of something like that, though. I mean, if you presented that with them on the kayak world, think about what they would be coming up with. You know, it's like saying artificials only.
Yeah.
Think about the stuff you're going to make up in your basement to start catching fish. Think about your kayak's going to end up doing 70 miles an hour.
That's
like,
what I was thinking. It's just like.
And we've already, like, someone sent me that video that probably everyone's seen of the
kayak motor.
the kayak / jet ski, right? That's with like the center console control. And I've probably had 15 people send me that video and be like, how bad do you want this? I'm like, bro,
Not
if I
bad
wanted that, I
at
would have
all.
bought a boat. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
it's
just buy a
not like
boat.
I can't afford a boat. Like, if I really needed to have a boat, like, I could go I had a boat. Like, it's not that I can't have a boat.
Had a
Bro.
boat. Thank you for the super chat from Hookshank Hewitt. Thank you, sir. Long shot, but have you ever fished Tigart Lake in West Virginia? If not, what's the best way to figure out a new body of water or tips heading there this weekend? Hey, we got some guys that handle tournaments where they put anglers on new bodies of water. Hello, guests. Would you guys like to chime in on this one? I think this would be good for you guys. Matt and Andy, what do you think?
I tell you what, Matt, since you've been carrying my weight for the whole, first, I'll
Matt's like,
chime
I'm
in
gonna
on
go
this
watch
one,
the rest
brother.
of my kids' track meet. Have a nice one.
Yeah, I know. But so any time you go to like a new body of water, there's so many things that is available, So number one, jump on the internet, check Google, check YouTube, check all that information. Look at shows like this, podcasts, all that kind of stuff. There's great information out there. Find contour maps, find out what the lake is like. You're able to get so much information off of the internet website, right? Then I would start jumping on Facebook. Look if there's any Facebook groups. Look if there's any type of social networking, because it's almost like being able to go to a bait shop right in your own home, especially if it's a ways away, right? So go in there, do as much networking as you can, and just find out and get an idea, right? And then what you want to look at is go, okay, seasonal patterns. What time of the year is it? Where are we? What should the fish be doing? And start breaking it down that way. And then you can kind of go there with a game plan in mind. And once you get on the water, obviously you're checking out the conditions that are on the water, and you have to make adjustments and go from there. But, I think really whatever you're going to target, an angler always has, I don't know, 3 to 6 to 7 maybe confidence baits where they can cover water, break it down, and all you're looking for is feedback. So take those confident baits. Don't worry about trying to bring everything, but get those confident baits, get out there, start breaking the water down after you've done all the research and homework. And then, that's the way I would recommend starting. And, I was giggling watching or listening to the all the forward-facing sonar and technology, and that doesn't hurt breaking down new bodies of water either.
See,
You want to find a ledge with a 20-inch trout? Crank up the gain.
Again, Paul, old man fisher buddy of mine, will pull up the maps.
I actually pulled up Tigert or Tigert or however you say it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a cheat code. Your first piece of advice is advice I give every single person is go find a topographical map that looks like the background of Matt's map right now. That is my biggest tip. And the place where I go to get mine there's not been a lake that I haven't been able to find yet. with unbelievable detail. That is $0 for you to go just Google whatever you want. I literally Googled. This is exactly what I typed in, and it's what I type in every single time. Name of the lake. So in this case, TYGART Lake, comma West Virginia, and then right after whatever the name of the lake is and whatever state it's in, type in depth chart. If you type that in, you're going to get GPSnauticalcharts.com. $0, 0 cents, interactive. You can save the map. Dude, it is zoom in at your leisure. It's unbelievable. I've given that piece of advice out. I will continue to get to everybody. It gives you launch points, pull in, put out, stocking, depth, as well as you can zoom in. It's unreal. So that is a phenomenal advice.
Yeah, absolutely. I love looking at the topographic maps as well. And another cool one is, jumping on Google Earth or, Bing Maps and turning on the aerial, because you can get over there and you can see into the water and you can see where there's going to be flats and drop offs and other things. So it's a combination of doing the proper study and just combining that with the seasonal patterns and, going out and letting it rip.
Andy, you just gave in like 30 seconds an entire episode that we did, and you basically covered all of it. So well done. Bravo.
Thank you.
Late to the party, but just knocking it out. I mean,
well, I tell you, I'm trying to make up for what I left earlier.
He's at 600 times speed right now. Like, if you guys want,
Matt knows me. I'm flying right now. So it's kind of funny.
Speed it up. We got it. I love it, dude. That's awesome.
Well, Andy,
Matt?
Jeff, if you don't mind, Andy, you could kind of talk about, to his point, that question's point, though, our anglers actually have to do that, the PWS anglers, because of the 30-day off limits period. So when they are on the Detroit River fishing that event, the next event, like you see right behind Andy there in Lodi in Lake Wisconsin, that starts May 17th through the 21st, the off limits period went on for that lake. That means for 30 days they can't touch that body of water. Talk about the unsolicited information too, Andy.
Ooh.
Yeah, so what the anglers can do in that off limits period is they can go out and they can do research, right? They can pull things from the internet, they can watch YouTube, but what they can't do is they can't go and ask people for help, right? They can't ask, hey, what would you throw? What would you do? But a lot of our anglers, because people want to help. It's in our nature. We want to help. And in some small way, they want to be a part of, helping someone be successful. And these guys, they'll receive unsolicited information and they get, they actually get baits mailed to them. They get, texts with, this is exactly where you need to be. This is what you do. But the problem with that for the anglers, they can't receive it. So they have to turn it over to me. And in turn, I put it out to the entire field. All of our anglers, we have a private Facebook group where I have to turn that information over because we're trying to level the playing field as much as we can. And we want to make it about those 3 days of pre-fishing, what the anglers can get for research on their own, and then doing that combat out there. So this past one, It was crazy. We had a handful of guys that were just like, I cannot believe I have to give you this because I already knew about it, right? They're getting information that they already knew about because they're receiving it. They have to pass it on, and it actually ends up hurting them in the long run. So it's just, it's a cool way. When you look at our field, our anglers, many of them are business owners, right? Many of them have jobs, and they're not able to get out and pre-fish for a week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, right? And so what we wanted to do is we want to say, look, we really want to make this about the quality of the anglers and the ability of the anglers and to break water down, to figure it out, and to go on the fly. And so that's where we came up with this 30-day off period and then only 3 days of pre-fishing. These anglers who are busy, we got one guy coming all the way over from Washington, so for him to make it to Detroit, it was a 4-day one-way trip just for him to get there, right? So now if you look at other tournament trails that would allow you unlimited pre-fishing, he would have, he would have lost so much, of an advantage. and been at such a disadvantage. So it's just cool. We love the off limit period, and the anglers really they appreciate that too, because now it doesn't force them to spend weeks at a time away from their home.
All I see from
Wow.
dudes is look what I did in practice. Look what I did in practice. Check
Yeah.
out I got day 5 of practice, and I'm like,
Day 5. of
bro,
practice.
like, I mean, I get it. I would do the same thing, but no, I mean, I'm not exaggerating.
No, you
Am
wouldn't.
I exaggerating? Like, people do
You're
that all
not
the time.
exaggerating, and also you wouldn't do that, and I know that because you won't even let me go back to the same body of water twice.
True.
We're always like Paul's thing that inadvertently became a rule for our channel is we always go to new bodies of water. I mean, at some point, maybe in 30 years, we're gonna have to revisit bodies.
Maybe when I
of water.
retire, Jeff. I just I love that. It's like the most most real world on the line example of like the teacher reading the note out loud.
Yep.
That's so beautiful. That's such a beautiful rule.
Well, and Jeff, like you were saying about new bodies of water, I mean, we could talk about the PWS as far as we put the onus back on the anglers as far as lake selection and date selection. We told them the 32 anglers that were selected was like, your guys are driving the ship. You pick the lakes, you pick the dates. If we go there and the bite's not on, it's not good, it's on you 32. It's not on us. And first
Nice.
it blew their mind because they've never had that opportunity before. And I'm not saying like, we don't want that responsibility. It's like when you hear about so many tournament anglers, they're like, why are we going to this body of water at this time of year? The bite is going to be terrible. Let's say there's a shad hatch or there's something right now that's going to be just terrible. So we said, you guys pick it. It's almost created the 32 had to sell to the other 31 anglers, right? They submitted it. We knocked it down to, what was it, Andy? Like the top 10 lakes. And then from there on out, they had to pick the best 6. So if you had one body of water that you were strong suited, that's the body of water you wanted, you almost had to put on your selling shirt and be like, this is why we need to go there. So, I mean, if you go to h2hfishing.com and you look at the PWS schedule this year, there's lakes on there that people are like, where the heck is Chautauqua? Where is McConaughey? And it's but then all of a sudden when people start hearing these names, they're like, oh my God, that event is going to be off the hook. Like there's going to be giant fish caught. And the other thing for us is it allows us to flex our muscle a little bit. And like, we don't need to go to your standard lakes. We can go and we can show you that there's walleyes in some of these bodies of water. Cross our fingers, make sure, our homework really did us right. But there's walleyes in this body of water. And guess what? Here's another surprise. They'll eat an artificial lure as well.
Yeah, the other thing that's so cool about this is our anglers have been so involved with every aspect of this. And, to a point, it almost got cumbersome in the planning phase because the anglers haven't been involved with dates. They've been involved with the lakes. They've been involved with rules. They've been involved with so many aspects. And when you look at it, our 32 anglers, when you add the years of experience, you're talking hundreds of years of top level tournament experience. We would be just insane not to listen to these guys in what they have to say because they bring so much to the table. And the cool thing is with them also getting involved, a lot of them are walking away going, man, that was I couldn't imagine trying to put a schedule together, trying to think of all these things, and it put it so much into perspective what it takes to put something like this on and schedule it. So it was awesome. The anglers came away with a better sense of awareness. We came away with just in general the best product that we could.
This is awesome. Of ownership.
I love it.
I'm sorry. The sense of ownership that the anglers took out of it was not only are they invested, financially, but now they're invested, they put their heart and soul into it, making PWS a thing, and it's going to change the industry if I could say it so boldly.
Oh yeah, I mean, you think about like who your customers are when you're putting on a tournament. I mean, like when you see people putting on like running races, they're catering essentially to the sponsors, the city, but
Mhm.
mostly the runners. And when you look at tournaments right now, it's all for either TV or advertising slash sponsors. Now you've already linked advertising, sponsors, and fishermen, right?
Mhm.
Anglers, and that's starting to break down a little bit. I'd probably say this year. I mean, probably saw a lot of that go away, but still, they are inextricably linked, right? And so now, if you're catering to these anglers who are like, yeah, I'm probably gonna help to bring the sponsors anyways. I know you're gonna bring the sponsors if you can bring people watching. And what's the one thing you can't have in a tournament? You can't have without? Well, gotta have fish. You gotta have people to go fishing. So like if
Mhm.
you're out here catering to people, and you're trying to get the best anglers, and you're kind of corner the market on walleye, dude. I mean, if you can keep up, like you're essentially selling to the people who are in turn gonna sell the tournament, right?
Yeah, Matt brought up such a great point about when we got into this. It's like we are looking at changing the industry. We want to flip this industry on its head. And when we were in Detroit, when those guys went out there, those 32 anglers went out there, they, there's a lot of that traditional vertical jigging presentation in Detroit, right? Heavy jigs, heavy weights,
Mhm.
vertical jigging. By the time they left, they have already made an impact in the industry because the people that were around them put those down, and now you have the weekend recreational anglers mimicking what the PWS anglers were doing, and that was just in a single week that they did that. And so when you look at industry changing, it's like absolutely. When you look at the platform that we have, the quality of the anglers, and us driving innovation with artificial baits, we're able now to look at partnering with different people who before might not have been as motivated to partner with us or partner with a tournament organization as they are now, because we have already started to make a difference in the fishing industry and just with one event.
Well, and the other
That-
thing too that goes along with that is, I mean, we talked about the grind we had in 2020. Right now,
Mhm.
as a commentator and as a tournament director like on Andy, we don't want to grind. But some of our fans want the grind because of the education that comes out of it. People are learning so much watching our head-to-head 5-hour events that it allows you, it's reality TV, guys. Everybody likes it right now. It's right
Yeah.
here, it's right now, it's on demand. You get to watch an elite walleye angler figure the bite out live
Yeah.
on, whether it's our website, h2hfishing.com, Facebook, or YouTube. You get to physically watch them figure it out. And it's great when they're catching fish. It's a little bit easier to figure that out, but it's when the bite goes stale that now you get to watch a Hall of Fame angler figure out how to make a fish bite. And it's the education side that sometimes even us at head to head forget about how instrumental that really is to anybody. It's they're learning right there with the anglers themselves, right on the live stream.
I think
How do
that's
how do
huge.
do the how do the anglers kind of respond to that? Because like in bass fishing, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna put on this Senko," and you can see that they're putting on a Berkeley flatworm, right? Like, how does that? Is that because they're trying to be like,
Meaning they don't want to
don't look at my lure that I'm
share.
gonna, you know what I mean? Like, don't I'm not going, I'm gonna go
It's
over to
just a
this flat
normal.
as they hover over a 90-foot drop, right? How
Yeah.
does
Right.
how does that work? Like, have you guys seen any of that like level of secrecy in the walleye series?
There's always going to be some of that element, because as we have especially with live cam, right, there's always going to be that element where they're going to try and protect it as best they can. The one advantage to our format is none of the other anglers who are in the competition are able to watch any of the coverage, watch any of the replays. So they they have a little bit more security to talk freely, knowing that their competitors can't see what they're doing. Now, obviously, when you come back, right, there's going to be some of that's given away, but the anglers, I don't think, are going to be as protective as they would be under different conditions. And there's always going to be things the camera won't see. But the cool thing, like Matt was saying, when you're a marshal in that boat sitting with them, it's pretty hard to hide what you're doing from that marshal,
Oh,
right? The
Right.
camera, yeah, you're going to be able to do certain things. The marshal, no. And the cool thing is so many marshals, and Matt saw this too. After we got done with Detroit, they reached out, and they reached out whether it was the head-to-head or to the anglers, and they developed these relationships. And so they're cultivating these relationships and taking them on with them well after the event.
Can you guys explain real quick what a marshal is? Because I feel like that might be Spanish to some people who are not like tournament savvy.
Yeah, you bet. So what we have is the first 2 days of competition, all 32 anglers fish. And in order to maintain that all the weights and well, yeah, the fish are weighed and enter into the weigh life correctly, we have marshals to assist the anglers with that. So a marshal rides in the boat with them, and their only duty during the first 2 days of competition is the angler catches a fish, they hold up the scale, just like we see on other tournaments, right? They hold up the scale, the angler puts the fish on, they call what the fish weighs, the angler takes the fish off, they release it, and then that marshal enters that weight into the Weigh Live app for the real-time scoring. And that is really what the duty of the marshal is. And so the first 2 days, it's basically like you're on a guided trip, but you have a front row seat to one of the top anglers in the nation going after walleye.
How many guys you got asking to do that? Because I'll be honest with you, I used to ref soccer, like middle school soccer. So and I later on, I used to do reffing for like LDS basketball. It's the worst job on this planet.
Yeah.
It's not even close. That dude Dirty Jobs. I never saw him do that. He never decided to go do that.
Dude,
He would always go dig around a beehive like a baby. Go try and
what a
deal with a bunch
loser.
of like really upset, jacked up wannabe basketball players. Go deal with that. Try and
Dude,
watch that argument.
Middle school football camps, first of all. Second of all, middle school and high school wrestling tournaments. I've ref those. So
You're
yeah,
telling
I
me
feel
to
you.
have both shoulders down?
Yeah. Bro. Or at my CrossFit gym I owned for a while, CrossFit competitions.
I was gonna ask you, Jeff, that because I'll be honest, dude.
The worst.
I used to
because
do
everybody's like,
CrossFit.
I got that lift. I was like, no, you didn't.
I would never
You didn't.
you say no rep and you're instantly on that person's blacklist. They just go, "What's your first name? What's your last name? Give me your what do I do
What's
here?"
that address again?
I'm just gonna end you later.
I ran dozens and dozens of competitions. It was the literal worst. So I feel for you guys. I feel for
Do you guys get a lot of
those
people
marshals.
though coming out to be marshals? Because that sounds probably like a sweet gig if you're kind
That
of
would be
comfortable
way
being a
better.
rep.
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing about a marshal is you don't have to be a ref. The first 2 days, the anglers call penalties on their self, and so they don't have to make those decisions. Now, when we
Yeah.
get into the bracket on Wednesday through Friday, that is where we have officials get in the boat who travel with us. It's easy to take 8 officials with us. It's hard for us to have 32 of them to coordinate, right? And for us, it's a better thing to take people local to the lake. Think about it. If you are a recreational angler and we're coming into your town, what better way to learn the intricacies of your lake from a top level angler than to jump in a boat for 2 days and have them show you exactly how to break this water down? And so the first 2 days, they don't have to do anything except weigh the fish, enter the weight into the Weigh Live app. And so their responsibility is not strenuous at all, right? They're not going to get in any controversy. They're not going to get in any trouble. So they don't have to worry about it. It's the officials that the final 3 days that they got a little bit more more responsibility. But yeah, so we are getting a lot of good interest, but I think a lot of the fear is kind of what we're talking about is you have a angler who is more on the recreational or beginner side that's thinking to themselves, I don't want to tell Mike Gofron that he can't do this or he has to sit down. Those first 2 days, the anglers do it.
That paddle tail ain't gonna work here, son. And he just stares you down and it's just like, bro, you can.
I'm sorry,
right
sir.
Over there. That's fine.
I'm sorry,
Over there's
sir.
Good.
We refer to that in Head2Head as getting demade.
Yes. Yes.
Would you
so
like me in the
brutal.
water on this side of the boat? You want
Yeah,
me or on
we
that
had
side of the boat?
we had a camera official do that to one of our bass anglers last year, and when that look he gave you like burnt his soul. Then Andy and I actually did the same thing. Because Andy and I commentated for the bass events in 2020.
Yeah.
That's how we got to know each other, and we actually had the camera official ask a question to the same angler. John DeMay is his name. He owns Dem Jigs, and he said that he looked at us, and when he looked back at the camera, he was looking through the camera directly at Andy and I in the studio. And we both felt like we just stole the last cookie from the cookie jar, man. Like we're like, next time we see John, it's not gonna be so pleasant. So yeah, the saying at Head to Head now is when you get a look like that, you got demade, because it stings, man.
When that happened, so to get Matt and I in a room together, after a while things kind of start going off the rails pretty quick, but he shut us up for a solid minute to where we didn't even breathe, and we're just like, oh man, it's like we are done.
Yeah.
My
Did I
bad, my
just
bad,
get
my bad.
That's
Oh my gosh. All right. So we got a giveaway to run, you guys. I think we should do this. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, and all of you awesome people who hung out here to listen to Matt and Andy, who was able to pop in, and we're so thankful that he was able to pop in and be a part of this episode. It's been fantastic so far. At the beginning of the episode, I said we're giving away a $25 gift card to monsterbass.com. We're going to run that now. In order to enter that, all you got to do is chat. Look, Justin already knows. Chat, chat, chat. You can chat. You can super chat. You can say whatever you want as long as it's nice and kind to other people, because we need to be nice and kind to other people. But go ahead and start chatting. We're going to start the process right now. And while we run that, I think we got a little lightning round. Is that right, Paul? Lightning round? I don't know. Have we done this once or twice for our guests?
Couple thousand
Couple thousand times.
times.
All right. So Matt and Andy are up for the lightning round. We got some rapid fire questions. Hit them, Paul.
I got a question real quick. Are me and
Ooh.
Matt going head to head on this?
Oh, we
I
should've.
mean, you could
You know what?
say
We can
the
li-
better
we can-
answer. Ooh, let's vote for the better answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
all right.
it's a
So
semi-lightning round. You can explain your logic. The questions are not serious. They're
it's usually not that fast either.
yeah. We say lightning round. It's kind of like it's more of a moderate. It's more of like a moderately
It's a
paced
molasses
bicycle round. It's not.
Okay, there's no questions how to operate Skype in this, right?
How to join a Skype
Ooh.
I
call.
already win that one.
There might
Yeah,
be.
I'm gonna add one real quick.
I'm out.
Oh gosh.
All right. Oh, hold on.
Seth Westlake with a $5 super chat. Yeah, we'll catch him. We'll catch you. Says thanks for coming, H2H. You guys are awesome. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
All right.
man. Thanks, Seth. We appreciate it.
Chaz is going to be the tiebreaker. All right, so Chaz, I don't trust your opinions all the time. Let's be real.
To Jeff's judgment, unless
I think I'll be
feel
the
like it warrants
judge.
Discussion.
So
All right.
before I'm not sure if I like the tiebreaker rule. I'm looking at, Chaz's background. He's got a San Francisco 49er hat, man. This is,
Can't be
come on,
trusted.
man.
We already know he can't be trusted.
Gosh, what
we
is
love
going
him.
on?
We trust him. We trust him for technology, forward and back. But I'll be the tiebreaker. So,
All right.
so let's do it.
These questions are easy, so I'm just gonna hit them with you, and you guys can answer at your leisure. Probably a higher pace than 0 miles per hour, but here we go. Would you coffee or energy drink?
Coffee.
Energy drink all day.
Matt
drink
takes
like-
win.
I drink like 2 or 3 energy shots a day. Like I'm waiting for my heart to explode. There it is.
There it
Sorry,
I was
Andy.
holding up
We
a
have,
big old can of Monster OG.
Andy, we have a thing going where Paul is trying to get a sponsorship with Monster Energy Drink, and we call it cold coffee. It's the ultra white. So I'm sorry. I do like coffee. I
love coffee.
Don't get me wrong,
Ah.
but it doesn't compare. And oh my gosh, Paul's Improved Clinch Knot, formerly known as Sports Freak 76, the best username of all time, comes through with a super chat of $5. Fishing the Southeast better not win. All right, you guys. If Fishing the Southeast wins, it's not I am not rigging this for him.
Blame
He
it
is
on
not
Todd.
he's not my long lost younger brother or anything.
So for Matt and Andy, we've been doing these raffles, and we have some folks who join all the shows, which we absolutely love. Fishing the Southeast, I think, is 2 of these raffle offs. They're not raffles, the giveaways. They're just a random giveaway. won 2
said
of them.
raffle off. But the day he won he won his second one, he had won
Debo's.
Debo's fishing. He was
Golly.
on Debo's fishing live, and I was like, "You just won that, and then you won this for the second time."
If you guys
So,
want to,
yeah.
want to go on a show that's much more educational than ours is,
Did you
go
say
hit up Debo's
educational?
Fishing. He's a great, phenomenal human being, friend of the show. You can go on his show and you can actually teach somebody something.
We got a gold member. His first name is Gary, and he is one of those guys that wins every time. Like he is a super fan for sure. So shout out Gary. There we go.
Bang.
Nice, love
All
it.
right, next question: turkeys or ducks? First question is turkeys or ducks to hunt?
Turkeys
Ducks.
all day.
Whoa!
So I can't tie break this because I don't hunt. So Paul, you're the tie break for that one.
I'm gonna. Okay, this one's real. This is to me. This was like almost an impossible task. This was very challenging.
Why did you make it a question if you couldn't?
Because it's hard to answer. It's controversial. It's difficult. You know what? I would like to say that it's ducks because the action's like hot and heavy, and you can do it a lot more. But I gotta go. Unfortunately, I gotta go turkey because there is nothing in this world. It's the only reason, honestly.
2-0.
When you hear a gobble within 30 yards, there's no sound in this world. There's no experience in this world that can prepare you for that. None whatsoever. It's basically it's like a raptor. It's
Yep. Thank
a
you. I was
raptor.
just gonna say that.
I will say though, when it's foggy and you have ducks flying out of nowhere,
so good.
right?
You know what freaks me out though is I'm afraid I'm gonna shoot like an illegal bird when that
Yes.
happens, and I'm like, oh dang it, I'm going to jail forever. But no.
And if I got to argue my win a little bit more on this one, I mean, look at the meal quality you're getting better out of a turkey compared to a duck. I mean,
I'm gonna flip you. I'm gonna ask the question. My second tier on this one was, now that you said which one you like to hunt, which one would you rather eat?
Duck.
Turkey.
I'm with duck, man.
I'm with duck.
Oh, thank God. Do I get one?
Yes,
one?
You do.
Andy gets one.
Now I love turkey. Smoked turkey is delicious, and I use the carcass. I can get like almost 32 cups of stock out of one bird, and it's all delicious. It's phenomenal. Thing about duck though, it's on the spot, minimal cleaning, like almost none, and it's just, there's something about it. You get 6 of them. Like, you know, if you limit out, it's hard to beat. Now, if you only get one, turkey every time.
I'm gonna argue my point. I mean, we talked about old fashions before, man. Have you ever tried deep fried turkey?
Did we just mess this up because they no old fashioned deep fried turkey?
Yeah.
What about but duck poutine?
I would do it.
Duck
I don't think I've ever done it. Matt, have you ever done it? Andy?
Come at me.
I have not. No.
I don't even know what he just said.
In Wisconsin? Whoa. In the land of cheese curds, you guys don't have poutine?
Oh, is that like French fries gravy type
It's
thing?
French fries, gravy, and cheese curds. Now sprinkle in some duck.
Wait, you're talking Canada, dude. We're
Yeah, that's
Wisconsin.
Canada.
Sometimes Andy sounds like he's from Canada.
He
but
does.
No.
Sometimes the accent gets a little further north. But,
First of all,
Drop the T on you.
poutine starts in Canada, but it is very much in America. Like we said, wait, you took French fries and you put cheese and gravy on it? Yes, please. That's now an American pleasure.
I think the most poutine I've ever had was when I was in Minneapolis. I'll give you that.
Yeah. You guys, you're
I'm
cheese
sticking with
curd
duck
central.
because how many times do you limit out on duck, and how many turkeys do you get a season?
I'm a horrible shot.
He's like, I've never
for
had
me. For me, it's how many boxes of shells do you go through?
Please pull the knife out of my back, Andy.
Dude, this is fantastic. All right.
This is getting brutal.
Would you rather catch walleye or smallies?
Smallies all day long and twice on Sunday.
Walleye.
I'm gonna give you that one. I love me some walleye, but it's got to be smallies.
Yep.
What is your must-have boat snack?
Whoa! Wasn't that a tie? What's the tiebreaker? We both said smallies.
You both get a point. What does that put us at?
Yeah.
Are we keeping
So
points?
3-1.
3-1. 3. Yeah.
I have to go back and keep my score here.
83. You're lousy one.
I know it's because I showed up late. All right, so
That's what you get.
must
It's
have.
because you said
go-to-
coffee.
How many more questions? Hang on.
I got a must-have boat snack. I'm keeping score now, so now I got them.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Where are we at? Because we got to make the last one like Final Jeopardy. So
I'll let you know if it is, but right now it's not close.
Hang on, it will be after this.
Yep.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Fair.
Not
Fair.
bad,
Matt.
bad. I think it can be beat.
Andy. Lame. It's Andy, it's Bridgeford jerky, dude.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
That was too easy.
Anytime.
Andy,
I'm out.
Andy, are you still sleeping on the job? Come on,
I'm
bro.
out.
I don't
I'm
even
out.
know. I got
The white flag is
three
waved.
left. If Andy can clean the board, we may have to do a tiebreaker question.
Hey, before I get into this, I got it. It's getting dark out. Does this
We
light
can
look
see it.
bad?
Oh, you're
You're
good.
alive. No,
Is
you're
it
alive.
is that one better? Or is it-
Oh,
Yeah.
just turn on the flare. You're good.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Speed-ish
All right, I'm
round.
speeding it up. All right. On your fishing shirt, right? Your
This should be
your
controversial.
dry shirt or whatever. Hood or no hood?
Hood.
Hoodie.
You guys are both
Another
wrong.
tie. Okay. No, they're right, Paul. Don't
Oh,
worry.
they're so wrong. All right. All right. Is
Chaz.
Chaz, stop that. Here
no
we go.
shirt, no shoes.
Socks with Crocs. Acceptable or unacceptable?
Unacceptable.
You lost. We're done here.
I am back to you judge the hunting questions. I'm back to being the judge.
that's
So Matt,
right.
socks with Crocs, yes or no?
I haven't worn Crocs, guys, in a long time, but I think that's like the ultimate shoe. I've actually had moments where I've thought about getting back into the Croc days just because like you think about it, right? As many people that bash Crocs, they're still there. They're never gonna go away.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Outdoor
have to say that it's acceptable to wear socks with Crocs.
Oh my gosh. Wait, Andy, you said no socks with Crocs?
Correct.
Do you wear Andy, do you wear Crocs?
No.
Then Matt
What
gets
do you
the point.
wear?
Matt said they're a great
Flip-flops.
shoe.
Oh, is that what you cut the
flip-flops.
grass in?
Flip flops, no.
No,
What?
dude. No, it's like I like cut the grass, it's tennis shoes, right? But out in the boat, flip flops.
What about what do you wear?
Hey
to the
guys,
store?
Andy's like old, so he probably wears New Balance.
Yeah, the dad
Oh.
shoes.
What
And he
is that?
instantly just won this discussion. That was the only acceptable answer above Croc for cutting the grass.
Hey, and I'll give you. I know because we could talk hunting for hours and hours, but Crocs are a great shoe to wear for stalking.
The sneakiest sneaker that's
Ooh.
ever been made. But you got to engage the 4-wheel drive. You got to flip the
Engage.
back up for sure. You don't
Engage.
want to lose that one to a random stick. I'll give you that. All right. The only problem I have with Crocs, and this is my gripe, after about 6 months of wear, when the bottom wears down, if you
Slippery.
step into a wet garage, you will
You're done.
actually your soul is forfeit.
Yep,
You're
you're dead.
I
You
can't
will
remember
die.
the name of the shoe, but there is a shoe brand that's out there. I've been trying to buy them for years. I just can't get through on their website. But it is like a Croc tennis shoe, and I've been trying to. I'll after the show, I'll share the link with you guys. These things look legit. I think they should sponsor not only the Burly podcast, but they should also sponsor Head to Head.
I will
I mean,
legitimately.
I'm down.
I will legitimately go get those tomorrow.
I
All
love
right.
it.
Last question.
Double, triple, quadruple Jeopardy.
No.
No,
Ice
winner takes
season,
all.
Ice season or open water season?
Open water, soft water.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I'm an ice fisherman, but it's a lot easier in the open water.
All right. So no tiebreaker or tiebreaker?
Oh, I think Matt
You don't
just
have any more
mopped
in
the
the-
floor with
This
Andy on
was
one.
this was a whooping.
The
I
Show
Show
up on
a
time next
whooping.
time, fool.
Dude, Andy,
The
I
jerky
feel
really
you.
did it. I mean, that was the nail in the coffin. If
Yeah.
I was commentating, I probably would have been like, all right, folks, but you go ahead and go to the bathroom. This one's wrapped up.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
felt
just
like
unfollow.
Rocky the first time that he fought Clubber Lane.
When his eye was the size of his fist.
Right.
What happened?
Hey, Andy, you know what just happened, don't you? I'm Nick Shirts, baby. I just ran the table on a head-to-head PWS Detroit River.
Yeah, you did, and you also just saw me get demade.
I didn't see anyone's soul leave the camera. All right,
Oh
so
my gosh.
well,
All right,
before-
Chaz.
go ahead and run the giveaway.
Let's run the giveaway.
All right.
Fish in the Southeast. If you win, I swear.
Seth Westlake.
Oh, somebody other than him won. Seth Westlake. Seth commented a few times.
So
I
while
remember
we're waiting,
Seth.
oh, there he is.
Yep.
Hey,
Seth,
nope.
you just
I
had
think
another
that was-
great show, y'all. You better not leave.
All right, we're gonna wait for Seth to respond. While we
He
wait for
already
Seth
did.
to respond, well, he said something. I don't know if that was.
He said something as if he was leaving the room. Like, great
Yeah.
show, you guys. I just won. Okay, bye.
Seth, send us while
Seth.
we're waiting for you to send us our email, which no one will be. Hey,
did
there
it.
he is,
did it.
Seth.
all right.
Dude,
Jeff,
we
do
are
not
we are
touch it.
100% on these shows, my friends. We are 100%. We have always had a winner actually respond. I'm so proud of you guys. You're fantastic. I will not press show on your email, Seth. Don't worry.
So Matt and Andy, let's say someone after listening to the show was like, man, this pro PWS Pro Walleye series, these head-to-head guys seem like they got it going on. I want to go watch. I want to be entertained. How should they go about becoming entertained?
How
Well-
would you go? What a
Well,
way
the
to put it.
First thing, jump on H2HFishing.com. That's where all the information is, right?
Number 2.
And I would say,
number 2.
Number 2. I would say right away, gold membership, okay? Because it's off the rails, man. I would say gold
We've gone there.
membership right away, because the gold membership, you have the ability to become a marshal. You have the ability to get 10% off shopping at therealshot.com. You're able to get free shipping. You get notifications before other people do. You get insider information before other people do. We do have an app that we're working at that's going to be coming out hopefully very soon, where it's also, when you're watching a PWS event, able to get you a little bit more interactive, where you're able to watch your special or watch a favorite angler. I would definitely do that. Pull the information where we're coming, right? We're going to have live shows going on during the day, or not during the day, but at the end of the day, where you're going to be able to come and kind of watch as we do a post-game show, bring anglers in to interview. You can find out where the host is. You can come meet anglers, interact. We have Greg Karch with Learn to Fish with us. He is there doing a clinic for kids, right? So you're able to go 3 of the days, you're going to be able to go interact with him. And we are going to have anglers from the PWS go there and help out when they do that. So that's additional opportunities for that. And then another thing is, if you are in a walleye club and you have a walleye club, we have affiliate programs, right? Jump on H2HFishing.com and you can find out how to affiliate your club with Head2Head Fishing, because that is a route for you to get in to the PWS. So it is a grass level movement or a grass level opportunity for you to fish in a club, then go to a regional event. You fish well enough, you can fish your way into one of the top 32 spots to become a PWS angler. So
Nice.
definitely, I would start with H2HFishing.com. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to YouTube.
Can we get one? Can they go get one of those sweet hoodies?
Oh yeah.
That's a sweet
But
hoodie.
make sure that you become a gold member before you do that, because then you can get the 10% off and free shipping when you shop at therealshot.com.
Well, for a guy that's late, man, you really nailed it.
Like, get right in there with the.
I just got my tail kicked. We're coming up on the 1 hour anniversary of me joining the show. and I have to bring something.
I will also say that ever since you joined, Matt's slowly been disappearing.
Is it?
It's like, no.
It's getting dark out here, fellas.
He melts after 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's funny. All right, one last one. If someone wants to go listen to the Guided Life, how should they go if they were so inclined?
Yeah, thank you for the shout out. So it's real simple. Guided Life. It's the Guided Life TV on Instagram, or just the Guided Life on Facebook and YouTube. I live stream mostly to Facebook. My YouTube following is getting bigger and bigger. We're in the infant stages with it. With the scheduling with Head2Head and the other events that we're running, it's tough to get out and try to live stream. Plus, like, just like a fishing event, when the fishing is tough, like when you're turkey hunting and there ain't much going on, it's hard to keep people's attention. So we try to do the same thing, try to educate people. But yeah, again, thank you so much. It's The Guided Life, and it's The Guided Life TV on Instagram. So thanks for the shout out.
Absolutely, man. And we just want to say thanks to you both for being on the episode today. It's been fantastic. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone in chat, hopefully you had fun as well. And Paul, if they want to find Burly fishing, where might people go to find Burly fishing?
They should go just look it up on YouTube. They should go look up Burly fishing on Instagram. Shoot, they should go to Monster Bass and go. You can get these sweet hats. You'll know exactly how to spell Burly fishing. It's unbelievable.
The amount of times that people add an E to Burly fishing, absolutely not your faults. I won't even say baffle me. Totally understand. Totally understand it. Burly. No E. But thank you for trying.
Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can find us everywhere. And then you can join us here on the show every single week, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Do you mind if I give a shout out to, first of all, Super K Jigs? Thanks to those guys for making this connection right here. For that, so much, we appreciate them. They have sponsored some of the head-to-head events. And, I want to take a moment to not only thank our fans. We have, just like you guys at Burly Fishing, we have the best fans in the world. And they're super supportive for everything that we do. And again, thank you to those guys. Thank you to our 32 amazing anglers, and then all the anglers we've had in the past. And then again, thank you to our sponsors as well. It's a lot of fun, and I have a blast working with Andy and all the other crew on Head2Head for sure.
Yeah, well said, Matt. Well said. Same sentiments that Matt does.
Ditto. Totally appreciate it, you guys. You guys are fantastic. Thank you, chat, for being here. Thanks for the super chats tonight. You guys are fantastic. Join us again next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back here live. We got Paul, do you know who the guest is next week? Do we have a hint? Do you want to give them a hint, or should we just let them be surprised like usual? Maybe we can tip them off. You guys, Paul is really good at scheduling people ahead of time. I partially help by motivating Paul.
We actually got Yak Tribe next week. I'm actually really excited about the episode as well. So really cool guy to chat with a little bit on Instagram, and I'm really looking forward to getting him on the show.
Yeah, so Yak Tribe next week. Look forward to that. Tomorrow, you guys got a fishing video. It was a little bit late this week. Sorry, we had a lot of footage to figure out, and life is crazy. So there you go. But there's a fishing video where Paul kicks my butt. You guys want to get me, watch me get destroyed? It's pretty fantastic. I did catch a few fish. Whatever, it's fine. I'll be okay. Oh yeah, do we have a members only live on the 11th? Well, you fantastic, awesome members. Guess what? You get a members only live on the 11th. I didn't even know it was that day. I guess we're doing that day. So, yep, totally. Roll the footage. Let's go. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching tonight. You're awesome. Thanks to Super K Jigs for helping us do the Wisconsin tour. It's been awesome. We've talked to so many Wisconsin-based businesses. I love it. And thanks to H2H. Let's roll it. Let's get out of here. Chaz, help. What do we do? Take us out.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I deserve to say I'm sorry, so lie. Pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care feet and forced me down a dead-end street when all I had went up in flames, burning only dark remains. I cover up every part of my skin, oh, 'cause I don't like the person within, oh. I know I'm the one to blame. All I can do is take the shame, oh. Do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm too sad to say I'm sorry, so lie and pretend that you're okay.